The coordinated campaign of the Democratic Party of New Mexico needs your help in Sandoval County. Haley Fortin is the field organizer charged with helping turn out the Democratic vote in our county. Your work canvassing, phoning, texting, writing letters and postcards, plus promoting voting among your family, friends, and neighbors will go a long way in assuring electoral victories come November 8th. Please give Haley a call at 505-681-6310 or send an email to hailey@nmdemocrats.org to help. Vote blue in 2022.
Pick me up with one arm and throw me somewhere. All right, and I'm all right with that. So I'm going to do 3 quick things. 1, I apologize to you for being late, but I don't apologize for the fact that you got to hear from some incredible people, great candidates. So one really important thing that we got to remember, while I need you and I want you and I'm ready to get reelected, the number of voters that we bring to support me and thank you means that we have Democrats at the voting and polling sites making sure that Democrats up and down the ballot get elected. All right, so we have, and I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. Has anybody sort of just done what we do as humans these days? You can't really resist, can you? I know I can't. I do a little look on Facebook. It's not very pretty. If you're looking at some political information, it's usually not very factual, except take a look at what some of the Republican candidates are saying.
I don't listen, I mute them.
You're muted, but you know what? I encourage you just to, if you need a minute to be reminded about the caliber, the quality, the commitment, and the experience of the Democratic candidates up and down the ballot. And if we care, we do, about education, healthcare, public safety, building livable communities, then you care about all those folks up and down the ticket. And when we see what's happening with the U.S. Supreme Court, you want a solid justice system in the state of New Mexico that holds people accountable. And come on, didn't you just sort of go, oh, watching New Mexico on CNN, the first state to not allow and to remove from elected office in this election? All right, that's the kind of stuff that I need every so often, not because it's gratuitous. That's not who we are. But because we have to start standing up for what's right. There has to be, right, someone who will call it out in the way that it should be. It's important for me and my family to know that this country is going to stand up for democracy and that we're going to do what's right. So I really want to hit that hard. My job is to work as hard as I can to get every single person who's going to make a difference in the state elected. So that's 1, right? And 2, your presence today tells me that we're going to get that enthusiasm back to make sure that we show up and vote. And now I'm going to be a little angry. Democrats all across the country, and right here at home, and right here in this community too, don't show up in the same numbers as we do in a general election. And while we always know what's at stake in terms of the democracy for the U.S. Senate and for presidential campaigns, what I think we've learned through all this trauma since the Trump presidency to today is that, by God, states matter. Right? They matter. This state matters for more than 25 million women who don't have enough states to protect them. 25 million women are locked out of abortion, abortion care, reproductive services, contraceptives, access to family health, fertility, and that's before we talk about Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS. They are locked out of any meaningful support for the kinds of things that we deserve as individuals in a democracy that stands up for all of us. 25 million women. This is a state that matters. So I need you to show up. And 3, I think sometimes it's worth reminding ourselves, and I need it too. I'm going to tell you, even driving up here today, I wanted to jump out of the car and pick up trash. And interestingly enough, I do that plenty, and I should. This is my state, my town, my community, my county, my people. COVID broke every system. It did. We can pretend that it didn't. I sometimes, in a weak moment, like to pretend that never happened, but it did. And we lost all of our sanitation workers and contracts and people who were showing back up to work. We weren't really outside doing any of that. That gap, it really shows you how important these government programs, services, and requirements are at the local level. Because you don't do them for a year and a half. You notice a difference, don't you? Okay, well, it ripped apart all the things we take for granted, everything, including public safety, including what's happening with behavioral health, including in healthcare delivery and in the basics. But now I want to turn you around to, we've built not just the best economy New Mexico has ever seen by any measure, in any context. There's no measure. I can measure it in a number of ways. You're number 4th in the country. You're number 11th in the country. You're number 15th. Whatever those measures are, where we are over last year, where we are sector by sector, everything from outdoor recreation to film, all those green economic investments, they're not just overperforming. New Mexico is now home to 3 movie studios. Home. 3. And another one likely coming. It's incredible. And what does it mean? It doesn't mean that we just like that green economic effort. What it really means is there's a future for careers in a creative economy for our children and our grandchildren. That's what that means. We save the planet, we create real careers. So we're overperforming. So we are in the top in the country. You know, we frankly in COVID, we led the nation. All right? Dr. Culbreth won't tell you how mean I am because I might have hauled her up to the governor's mansion on was it a Saturday or a Sunday? It was a Saturday. And I said, you know what? It's too slow. It's not enough. I got to figure it out. I need you to be able to turn around tests in 4 hours or 2 hours. And I need to know where else we can stand it up. And I need drive-through testing. And I don't want to hear we can't. And I didn't hear that. Premier Response led the nation. Not in the top 5, not in the top 10. Now, once people figured out what we were doing, they caught up, damn it. But I don't mind that because they were saving lives, right? I don't mind that. Our sovereign nations in New Mexico are the highest vaccinated populations in the world. I mean, those are the kinds of leadership qualities that create other leadership opportunities. Because when I ran in 18, people said, I don't want to be at the bottom of things anymore. I'm proud of who I am and where I am. You're leading in the environmental space. We're leading in many measures in high tech. Frankly, you have an astronaut school in truth or consequences. What are the chances of that? I know they were low, but we made it happen. All right, we said we would deliver everywhere, anywhere, all of the time. We are. We now have the highest paid educators in the region. We have universal early childhood. We have the best free college program in the country. We have the best child care benefits in the country. All right? If we don't have those building bricks, it's the foundation. Now we got to build the house. Right? In fact, actually, we've done more than that. We've laid the cement. We've put up all the studs. Am I saying any of this right? Anybody that does construction? Because I'm losing out on the stuff that I could. There's beams, right? Maybe there's some insulation. Wall, drywall. All right, now we need to do the roof, the windows, the plumbing, and the stucco. So there's more to be done. There really is. I get it. You get it. I don't want you to run away from that. I'm not. I'm embracing the fact that with this world-class economy, I've got some more ideas. So let's start with a couple in education. Albuquerque in particular needs smaller class sizes, and they need them right now. All right? Now we're bringing educators back, but it's not catching up. We need new schools. We're going to build them. They're going to be state-of-the-art, and we're going to find ways to have an executive partnership with our public school educators. They lead it, we follow and back it up. We're also going to put hundreds of millions of dollars in tutoring. Before school, after school, weekends, we're going to catch up. All right? And we're going to use other professionals in a fair and meaningful way. See, the difference between that idea where you build on public education, it's not a voucher program. It doesn't discard what we have. It doesn't devalue us and what we're doing about making sure education, frankly, like healthcare, is a right. It says that we build upon the areas that aren't quite there yet. We're going to do it. And for educators with a raise, we're not done. I don't want to be the best in the region. I want to be best in the country. You stake a claim, and we're there. All right? We're going to do it. We are doing it. More is coming. I also don't want any family in New Mexico to have to worry about child care. It should be universal. It can happen here. It can happen here. We announced today $42 million for 317 new officers. More than 100 right here in the central region of the state. I need more policing. And I need it right now. And did you know that police officers, many of them, when they go to the law enforcement academy, they put what it costs for their uniforms and their equipment on their credit cards? How do you think they pay for that? Not in New Mexico, they don't. All right? So we're fixing. These were all institutional problems. And you add COVID and behavioral health problems and homelessness in the mix, we create risk. We inherited from 8 years of a Republican governor, no behavioral health, no money in policing. I put in $320 million into the infrastructure, cars, equipment, training, buildings, all of the high-tech, gunshot detection, right? License readers, all the things that make us safer. Investments in schools. Our kids deserve to be safe. Be upstream, proactive, figure it out, fencing, one-way entrances, do all of it. Cameras. Well, we've been doing that. It's more than double what they did in 8 years. Don't let people tell you that Democrats don't understand public safety, because that's malarkey. It's malarkey, all right? And more is coming. We're going to get to 1,000 officers. We are. Now let's talk about the big one. Homelessness, right? Problem here. Bigger problem. I mean, it's just getting bigger. How did we get here? One, no states are actually doing upstream and actual delivery. Make no mistake, people are just being moved across the country. Okay, that's a fact. I'm not quite there that maybe, not my best friend Ducey is sending him over from Arizona, but there is a national problem. That's a fact. Second fact, only state in the nation with no behavioral health. Who did that? Republicans did that. The very same people who were running against me and are working on the very same team. They took it out of the private sector, they took it out of the public sector. All right? It took us 2 years to settle the lawsuit so that people were willing to actually practice again. We raised rates. We fixed training, reciprocity for licenses, solved all of those lawsuits, ready to go, and you let COVID into the state of New Mexico, doctor. I told you not to on that Saturday. I said,